Hey, Canvas Keys, the new Nord Stage 4 is out. Super excited about that. Excited about what that's going to do. It's got some new features that are really going to help us just have a few extra layers, and I always love that. I kind of geek out in the synth world. So we've made patches for every song. It took tons of hours of rewriting patches, using some existing samples, finding some new samples, but we went ahead and made individual patches specific to each song that we're using at Canvas, and we'll continue to keep that updated and sent out to you through Google Drives. I want to show you, first of all, how those songs can be transferred, at least those programs and those patches can be transferred onto your Nord. So first thing I want to show you is using the Nord Stage Manager. So this is my Nord 4, and I've just showing you just kind of the main panel in this scene so that you can kind of get at least a little glimpse on the master screen what's going on. And then I have my computer screen as well that I want to show you. So if you don't already, make sure you have the Nord Sound Manager downloaded. You can get it off the Nord website. This is not a complicated software. This is basically just a file transfer software, and it's awesome. So let's check it out. This is what it looks like when we open it. And drag it over so we can actually see it. So it shows you if you plug in your Nord to your computer with a simple USB cord that's supplied with your Nord, it will instantly find your Nord. It says right here, connected to Nord Stage 4. It shows you what operating system I'm on. So you can also check the website, make sure you have the latest OS, because those are updated as well. And then it shows you in the Nord Sound Stage Manager every sound that's on your Nord. I'm gonna try to make mine a little bit bigger, but the font's not gonna get too much bigger. So I'll scroll down and show you all the way down here in starting in Bank F. I'm starting with our alphabetical, all our songs. So Bank F starts these individual song specific patches. If I hit organize, this little button here, it shows me where I also have blank layers. So you can, or blank spaces where nothing is in my patch library. So you can see that I also have put some other patches in there, and I'll keep updating patches that are available to you for songs and just some generic basic patches. So giving you just an update, I reorganized everything. I put kind of your predominant pianos at the beginning of our layout, and I put some electric pianos, then synth pianos, claves, organs, and then a bunch of pads that start at the end of Bank B. So navigating through all that, it's really simple. You don't need this software day in, day out, but if you want to move sounds that I make available to you in the Google Drive onto your Nord at your campus or in your home, then you'll need this software. You'll also need to let me know that you want access to our Google Drive. Now, right away, one of the things I did was I removed some samples from the factory as well as some patches and other things like that because I wanted to make room for some of what we wanted. So this is not a factory setup, but of course you can restore your Nord to the factory setup whenever you want. You just download the factory presets from the website again, and it'll give you, you can reset it completely. But to get the bundle, and what that means is like all our samples and all our sounds that make up our programs, you have to restore your Nord from a bundle file that I will make available to you also in the Google Drive. Now, it already has, when I ship the Nords to you, it already has this bundle on it. But if we make significant changes, I'll let you know, and I'll push a bundle out, which will completely kind of reset, reformat your Nord. The cool thing about this software, though, is if you want to move things around, it's really easy just to move patches. Like if I wanted to move this patch over there, I could. And then if I want to move it back, you can move patches around really simply in this software. So when you need to restore from a bundle that I'm providing, you use this feature. And I just want to make you aware of that. Okay? So moving on, let's look then at how do we move the songs around that I have provided for you already on your Nord. So this is kind of a wide angle shot of my Nord, and a little bit of a close-up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay. So if you noticed in the patches that I've created, in the big list of patches and all the alphabetical, alive, all these patches, you'll notice that I stop kind of mid bank H, and there's really nothing in bank H until you get to the very end. And what this is, what we're going to do, because there's no more song mode, and that's kind of the bummer. And there's live mode, but the disadvantage to live mode, and I'm going to go ahead and hit live mode right here. Live mode, when it shows live mode, it doesn't say the patch name right here. It just says live 1. So you still have, you could do live mode like song mode and save that way, save songs to live patches. But I found a different way that I think is going to work better for us without song mode. And so what we're going to do, let me get out of live mode and let me get out of this scene for you. What we're going to do essentially is we're going to copy patches. Like if I needed Sinking Deep this week, I'm going to copy it into bank H81. And the reason why I'm just putting it at the end is it's really easy to scroll to on the Nord. So let me show you how we're going to set it up. Okay, so this is widescreen shot. Here's the main menu, and here's a little bit closer so you can kind of see a little more clearly the main menu. Okay, so you'll see right here I'm in H85, and that's our closing patch this week. This week our set was Glorious Day, This Is Our God, Overall I Know, and Jesus Over Everything. And you can see the titles on here. Now you can even look at these titles in a different format by this button here. It says Program View. If I hit that, now you can see Jesus Over Everything much bigger. And then you can see that another view shows that you have a piano and a synth going. I like the third view, so I just keep scrolling through, which is a tiny small print that says Jesus Over Everything. But I like it because it's showing me everything everything that I have going on. It shows me I have 2 pianos and then a shimmer synth patch here in the synth section. Okay, so the main thing I want to show you in this video is just how to load the presets that I've made. I'm going to do another video that kind of shows the breakdown of how do we get to all the synth engines and the piano and how do we make changes and things like that. But for now, at least to get you started, I wanted to make a quick video just showing you how do you load the songs that I put in your Nord. Okay, so for the sake of being able to see right now, even though I typically like this view, I'm going to go to the view that just has the title in a large font so that you can see what's going on. Okay, so if I scroll back, I'm all the way back at the beginning. Remember I mentioned the alphabetical starts at the beginning of F, bank F. I can use this knob to scroll, or I can use these buttons to go fast. It goes by 10s or whatever, by 8s technically, but 55, 21, all that stuff. So it goes by a greater number. So I'm going to go down to the beginning of the F bank. And let's make up a set. Our set this week. Okay, so so let's pick songs. Let's do Battle Belongs. And then let's do Goodness of God. And then let's do What a Beautiful Name. And we're going to end with Living Hope. Okay, so we had a Phil Wickham bookmark. Bookends. Okay, so let me just show you how I do that. So the first song is Battle Belongs. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through and find Battle Belongs. There it is, right there. Battle Belongs. And it's the first song in my set. So I'm going to hit Store right here. Store. And I'm going to go ahead and use these buttons to get to the end of my H bank. Remember I showed you at the end of H, we have a bunch of empty spaces. So I'm going to go here to the end of H, and it went all the way to H88. That's the last bank, and it shows empty right now. But I'm going to hit 1 right here, and it's this. So now I'm at H81, and I'm going to use this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to organize my set. So I'm going to make H81 instead of Glorious Day, which was this last week's first song. It's going to be Battle Belongs. So you'll notice it's flashing here. When I hit it again, it's going to save it. Now it says Battle Belongs, and it has a 2 next to it, and that just shows you this is the second copy of this patch. And we don't want to erase the first one because I want to keep it there, and I want to keep it alphabetical so that I don't have to go find it later if I mix them all around. Because there's another feature where you can swap patches, but then like, oh my gosh, I can't ever find anything. So I don't want to swap it. I want to keep it alphabetical. So this is essentially just a copy of the original. Okay, the next song was going to be Goodness of God. So let me go back here using this button for the beginning of the F's. So Goodness of God, I'm going to scroll alphabetically till I get there. Goodness of God. Okay, so there it is, Goodness of God, F65. We're going to store it as, so this time what I'm aiming for is H82. So because we're going to use the end of that H bank. So I'm going to use this, again, these buttons. I'm going to scroll all the way to the end. It's going to, when I go to the end, it's going to go to 88 because that's the last patch. I'm going to hit 2 this time because it's the second song in our set. Last week, the second song was This Is Our God. This time we're going to do Goodness of God. It's blinking. I'm going to store it. Now it says Goodness of God. Okay, so this is the second version of Goodness of God. The only reason it doesn't have a 2 there is it ran out of characters. But if I went and looked at the sound manager, the software, if I wanted to look at it, I could scroll down there and see it actually still has a number 2 next to it. So it's calling it the second instance of Goodness of God. Okay. So now let's go back to third song was going to be What a Beautiful Name. So going back to F, where my alphabetical songs start. Of course, it's at the end, so we're in G. What a Beautiful Name. There it is. It's G85. I'm going to store it using the page to go to the end. I'm going to hit song 3. It's taking the place of Overall I Know this week. So I'm going to go ahead and store it. Yay! And it's there. It just writes over whatever you did the week before. And the last song was Living Hope. So I'm going to go back and landed right on it. So G21 is Living Hope. I'm going to store that as number 4 in the set, 84. Now it's, there it is, Living Hope 2. Okay, so now 81 is Battle Belongs, 82 is Goodness of God, 83 is What a Beautiful Name, 84 is Living Hope, and I have still my closing patch. I didn't move it from last week because I want to use the same patch because I like this closing patch. I like it because it has some movement and shimmer in it. Yeah, so pretty cool. So that's kind of how you just move the songs around. And I'll do another video that shows you just the basic layout, but it's not that different. It just, everything is more accessible. You don't have panel A and panel B anymore. Everything is right in front of you, which I love, because rather than have to switch through panels to find which piano I'm using, I just have a panel. I have a piano here and a piano right next to it. So that's pretty cool. I can just instantly turn another piano on. I can have them both on now. I have two pianos. It's right there. Very cool. Loving this new Nord. Not having song mode initially really irritated me, and I'm like, no way, that's how we do our set management. That's our workflow is based on song mode. But understanding that we could probably just use empty patches to do the same thing, I think we're going to be okay. So I'm thrilled with that, and everything else I'm feeling really good about with the new Nord. One of the main features is that rather than just two synth engines, you have three synth engines that can function at once now, and that gives us a ton of extra layering. And the other big difference is the arpeggiator section is way better. We can have polyphonic arpeggiation, which we didn't have before, and we also have a gated arpeggiator, which is really cool for rather than using a low frequency oscillator to make a pulse. Some of our songs that have a pulsing sound are better better mimicked with a gate than a low frequency oscillator. So when I'm making those patches, what I'm doing is I'm listening to what's in the recording. I'm listening to the actual original stems, and I'm trying to match those key parts as closely as possible. So sometimes there's splits in the patches, and sometimes there's things that the mod wheel does. If you ever see an MW at the end of a song title, it's because the mod wheel has a significant function to play. Maybe it introduces the organ at some point. So my next job after I give you a basic rundown is I've got to start creating those tutorials about how each patch is designed to get you through the song. But what I would recommend is to go ahead and pull up the songs. So Battle Belongs, right away you can hear it as that organ sound. But if I pull the mod wheel down, it's not there. So just when you set your songs up, just go through each one and listen to each one and decide what it's doing. Look and see if there's a split point at all. You know, you can tell if your keyboard's split, if it has anything lit up here. If you don't have any lights, then there's no split points. But this one has a split point because it has a ton of delay up here to do the that was super sloppy, but above this point there's a delay. So just look at it, listen to each patch until I make all those tutorials. This one, Goodness of God, it just has yeah, that mod wheel has the organ. Yeah, I did just notice that that organ doesn't have the sustain pedal assigned to it. Did you know that organs by default, because they don't have sustain pedals, an actual organ doesn't have a sustain pedal, and so when you put an organ patch on the Nord, it doesn't by default pull up the sustain pedal functionality. You actually have to assign it to that. And the way you do that is you hit the shift key, and then right here where it says sustain pedal, make sure that's illuminated. Pretty cool. Yeah. That's North Stage 4. And that's how we have it set up. And that's how we can pull our patches in for a gathering. Okay, hope that works for you. Hope that's helpful.